What's up, YouTube? Scrag11 here. Been a long time since I've been doing videos, so figured since the wife and kids were out of town, I'd get out some of the toys and show them off a little bit. So figured first thing I'd start off with was my AR15 and some of the stuff that I've done to it. It's basic AR15. I'm going to take this off just because it keeps clanking. Don't feel like listening to that the whole time. Safety checks, of course, just to show everybody. Empty chamber. And of course it's empty. The gun is a DPMS Panther lite to be exact, has a light profile barrel. My initial purpose for buying this was I was going shooting with some friends, and you know, I felt like getting something fun to take that day and just picked it up. And I didn't own an AR-15 or anything like that before. You know, a lot of people will say, oh, well, DPMS, it's a crap brand, blah, 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 blah. You know, it may be. I mean, I'm not going to war with it or do anything else like that. If I do start to sense that I need a better one, I can always upgrade the gun and just take all my accessories off of it and put it on to whatever, you know, I need to get. But let's go over some of the stuff. I mean, basically it's mostly Magpul equipped. Got the Magpul M-Bus backup sights. This is the first generation, it's not the new one, so you know, and looking at it, I don't know it's all that much different. Magpul CTR stock. It's got 6-position adjustment. It's the commercial stock, not the military stock. Nice thing about these, of course, I'm sure everybody knows if you're watching this probably, has a little lever action here that can lock it down and really snugs up the stock so that there's not a lot of play in it. It's not an absolute must-have kind of a thing, you know, I just really like the way that it looked. I picked up the Magpul MOE grip here. I didn't even have access to their MyAd grip, so, but when I felt this one, this actually felt pretty good to me and felt better than the standard M16 grip that came on it. So figured I'd throw it on there. Replace the back plate on it, just a standard stock, nothing special. I'm gonna get rid of this as soon as I can, just because it's kind of annoying. It sticks so far out. It's able to take a sling on both left and right side. But when you go to do your malfunctions on this, you actually hit this back plate instead of hitting your forward assist. And so I need to get rid of that as soon as I can, but that'll be next on the upgrades list. We've got the BCM Mod 2, I think, charging handle, gunfighter. You know, it's cool. I can't say that I notice a huge difference between it and just the standard charging handle. I mean, you can definitely feel that it locks up a little bit better, and when you pull back on it, it does feel like it doesn't pull back at quite as much of an angle, but that may just be because that's what they say it does, and because I spent a lot of money on it, that's what I think it does. One of the actual useful things on this is the Magpul BAD lever, battery assist device. Essentially, it replaces the ping pong paddle. Doesn't replace, it adapts to it, but instead of having to hit your ping pong paddle to release the bolt to come forward, you're able to do all your manipulations with your firing finger. So pop a new mag in and just go ahead and tap that, and it will send the bolt home and chamber a new round for you. No need to slap the gun sideways, although you can still do that. Doesn't mean that you can't do it. It's a little bit harder to see. Maybe I can bring it in a little bit closer. But we do have this little piece here, and this is a thing that I had to pick up because I was running a 22 conversion kit in this, and unfortunately, the 22 kit puts excess stress and wear on your hammer pin, and I got a cracked hammer pin. I did it within the first 100 or so rounds of the 22 kit being used, and so when I went to go replace it, instead of just throwing in the standard hammer pins that you can buy really cheap, I looked around and I found this K&S kit that it replaces the hammer pin, and it's called an anti-walk pin set. And in doing my research on it, I didn't need to have something that was anti-walk, but for this, I actually just like the way that it looked. I like that little connection bar there. I don't know what it was about it, but I just thought that when I saw guns with that on there, it looked cooler. Next up, EOTech. EOTechs are great. This is not the night vision one. I don't have night vision goggles. Probably never will. Wish I could afford them, but I'm on a budget, of course. It's great. Works awesome. I'm sure if you know anything about EOTechs or holographic sights, you know how they work. Bulletproof kind of a thing, I love it. Probably the best thing I've invested in. On top of the gun, of course. Up front, we got the MOE front grip, the angled forward grip, and I'm not actually too hot on this, mostly because this is a carbine length gun, and so for me, with the thing fully extended and using the grip as they want you to use it, it feels like I'm still not long enough. I almost need a mid-length gap system just for where my hand wants to be. So I feel like I'm pulling in and kind of sitting in an uncomfortable spot here to do the theory grip that this is actually made for. But, whatever. Got Magpul's little side adapter for your sling. Put that on there just so I can move it from that front post that it's not really meant to have a sling put on it in the style and fashion that the Magpul sling is. But, just one of those little things that I thought looked cool. Bought it, threw it on there. Got the Magpul handguard. The main purpose, actually, when I bought this gun, one was to have fun, and two was I wanted something light. Now, I wanted something light because at the time my purpose was that it was just going to be a quick, easy to grab, light, throw it together kind of, weapon. But as I started adding all this stuff on here, the EOTech especially added some weight to it. It just started getting heavier and heavier, and so for the most part, the lightness of the gun and this MOE grip here, or the handguard, it's more of a looks thing, and it's actually really comfortable too. I do like it over the quad rails. I've got some friends that have quad rails on them, and if you don't get those quad rail ladders that fill in the grips, it tends to chew up your hand, and it's just kind of annoying. This thing, it's smooth and it's comfortable and it's rounded, so your hand fits around it real well. I really like it. Probably my favorite upgrade outside of the EOTech, just because I like the way it looks, like the way it feels. Functionally, it doesn't help the gun at all. It's not free-floated, so it can tweak the trajectory of your round, I guess, because you're holding onto it and flexing the barrel and all that stuff. But I don't shoot any kind of distances that I'm going to see major effects on my shot grouping because of it. The only thing that I haven't upgraded that I really, really want to is the flash hider. I'm still up in the air on what I want to do. The birdcage works fine. I'm not replacing it because I need something better. I want to replace it just because I want something that looks cooler. That's the main purpose of this gun, is just to look cool. And it's anywhere from the Vortex. I do like the way the Vortex looks. The Phantom's pretty cool, but there's this one out there on the market. It's called the Battle Comp, and as soon as I have $150 that's burning a hole in my pocket, it's probably what I'm going to pick up, just because I love that it's not just a flash hider. It's not as good a flash hider, I'd say, as probably the standard birdcage, but the muzzle brake that it is, or compensator that it is, really is cool when you look at firing fast. So outside of that, this is the AR-15 that I roll with. It's fun. It's great to go out and shoot with friends. Haven't had any problems with it. DPMS makes a good consumer brand firearm, in my opinion. Never had any issues outside of that one piece that broke, and from everything I've heard or read, it's because of that 22 kit and the type of impulse that it puts on the hammer when it's going back. It's not meant to actually work in this system. It's just one of those things that can break. Anyway, so that's a look at the AR-15 for Scrag 101. Thanks for checking it out. Catch you later.